Hey guys, tonight we step softly into the misty alleyways of Edo, Japan. Not the postcard perfect one with cherry blossoms and paper umbrellas, but the late night version. The version where the lanterns flicker a bit too much, where the street cats vanish when they should hiss, where a bus, that's not really a bus, waits for passengers who aren't quite sure where they're going, or if they ever get off. You trudge toward the stop, sandals damp from a rain that stopped 2 hours ago, though the air still smells like thunder. There's no timetable, just a wooden post with faded kanji and the number 7 drawn in charcoal twice. You're not even sure why you're here. The city is asleep. Your room at the inn was warm. The futon was fluffy. But some strange pull, maybe curiosity, or was it a dream, got you up and out the door. So, before you get comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe, but only if you genuinely enjoy what I do here. Oh, and drop a quick comment with your location and local time. I love seeing where in the world we're gathering for these stories. Now, dim the lights, maybe turn on a fan for that soft background hum, and let's ease into tonight's journey together. The cart arrives soundlessly. No clack of wheels, no shout of all aboard. It simply appears. A long wooden cart, dark lacquered sides, sliding doors with rice paper windows, and a single lantern swinging at the front. The characters on it glow faintly. Ying Hun Che, the Soul-Welcoming Carriage. A man steps out. Or maybe he was always standing there. He doesn't speak, just nods slowly, his conical hat casting a shadow that swallows his face. He holds out one hand. You give him what? A coin? A folded paper charm? You can't quite remember, but he lets you pass. Inside, the air is thick, not heavy but still, like the silence before snowfall. It smells faintly of camphor, old incense, and something metallic, like an old blade cleaned too often. You take a seat on a bench lined with worn tatami matting. It's soft, but somehow cold. The other passengers are already seated, 5 of them, all in traditional dress, all perfectly upright, hands folded in their laps. No eye contact, no movement. One woman clutches a bundle wrapped in crimson silk. Another, an old man in a fisherman's robe, stares directly at the rice paper wall in front of him like it's a painting only he can see. You clear your throat. No one reacts. Outside, the city begins to slide past. Except something's off. The scenery doesn't match where you boarded. The houses are older, like really older. Thatched roofs, open-air stalls with charcoal braziers. A monk stands on a corner chanting, but the sound doesn't reach you, not even a muffled hum. Then you realize there's no sound at all, not from the wheels, not from the wind, not even from yourself. You glance toward the front. The conductor sits behind a tiny paper screen, slowly turning a wooden wheel that doesn't seem connected to anything. His movements are methodical. You sit back against the tatami-lined bench, trying to feel grounded, but the sensation is tricky. It's like leaning against a dream, soft, but somehow not there. You peek at your fellow passengers again. None of them have moved, but something's shifted. The old fisherman now holds a lantern in his lap. You're fairly sure he didn't have one before. It's dim inside, but the conductor's lantern casts long shadows that dance across the rice paper walls, forming strange patterns. One moment, it's a peony, next a serpent, then something like a face with no mouth. You blink, and it's gone. The ride continues, drifting through a fog that seems to have curled its way into the very wood of the cart. Outside, Edo has changed again. You're now passing the old execution grounds at Kozukapara. At least, that's what a faded wooden sign says. Or maybe it always said that. The fields look empty, but the air feels heavier, as if it remembers too much. There's a low fence, and beyond it, dozens of tiny paper flags flutter, each inscribed with kanji prayers for the dead. One of them lifts, seemingly against the wind, and floats toward the cart. The paper presses briefly against the window. The ink smears slightly. Was it freshly written? Then it drops away. Nobody else reacts. You remember reading that more than 200,000 people were executed at Kozukapara during the Tokugawa period. Heads rolled, and history moved on. But according to old temple keepers, some of those souls never found their way forward. And now, sitting here, you wonder if this cart was always part of their route. The conductor, still silent behind his screen, pulls a slender scroll from beneath the wooden seat. He begins to unroll it slowly. Names are written there, rows and rows of them, in delicate brushstrokes. You crane your neck. Some of the names blur, almost like they're not meant to be seen by the living. But then your eyes catch one that looks oddly familiar. Your own name. It's not exact. One stroke off. Maybe a family name. Maybe a different life. But still, it clings to your thoughts like dew on silk. You glance to the side. The woman with the crimson bundle now rests her head gently against the window, eyes closed. Her hands still cradle the bundle tightly. From this angle, you can see that it's not just cloth. It's shaped like a tiny body. A doll, maybe, or something older, something more personal. Jizo, you murmur, and the word lands softly in your chest. Historians still argue whether the practice of offering small wrapped tokens to Jizo, protector of children and travelers, was spiritual ritual or quiet mourning. Some say it helped mothers grieve lost children. Others believe it was a form of karmic balancing. Either way, this woman on this cart is still carrying something unfinished. The bus rolls forward again. The air inside thickens slightly, as if the cart has dipped beneath a layer of time no one maps anymore. You begin to feel a faint pressure in your ears, like descending from a mountain. Then, without sound, the sliding door opens. A passenger steps off. It's the man in the lacquered robe, third from the left. He walks into a field of tall grass, moonlight glistening across the dew. In the distance, a shrine appears, one that wasn't there a second ago. A single bell chimes. You feel the weight in the cart lift just a little, and then it hits you. They're getting off one by one. Each rider, each soul. Not random stops, but destinations long waited for. Resting places remembered by the heart, not by maps. The woman with the bundle shifts slightly, but doesn't move to rise. You wonder again why you're here. You're not grieving, not lost, or are you? Maybe the cart picks up more than souls. Maybe it picks up memories, loose ends, regrets that still wear shoes and walk around pretending to be decisions. That story you never told. That apology you didn't send. That time you stood silent when you should have spoken up, and the moment passed forever. The conductor turns the wheel again. Click, pause, click. And as he does, you feel it, a soft tug at your sleeve, not physical, more like a memory that hasn't been yours for centuries. A market stall, a sudden downpour, someone laughing under an oil paper umbrella. And just for a moment, you remember loving someone whose name is now only ink on a half-burned letter. A red thread ties itself around your wrist. Imaginary, maybe, but strong. The woman with the bundle looks up. Her lips move, soundless, and her fingers trace something in the air. A kanji, one you almost recognize. Is she praying, or is she remembering? The lantern flutters. Shadows twist once again. This time, you don't flinch. You look toward the conductor, still silent, still turning that ghostly wheel. But now, just barely visible behind him, a mirror. Small, fogged, and for the first time since boarding, you see your own reflection, and something else behind it. Else?